Daith da, hey we nacken. Welcome to podcast number 50. Well, I'm really getting ahead of myself at the minute. As you might have heard from the last podcast, I actually did record that almost a week ahead because we had a really busy week this week. Well, this one is even more surreal because I'm actually recording it on the Wednesday before the last podcast have actually come out, because we have managed to get, we got a few days away. So I thought I'd record this one before we go away. So when you actually hear it, we will be traveling home that day. So I don't know where directly have gone. We usually do things directly down here. Well, I'm 10 days ahead, but there we are. So today is the last of me interview with Win Hoskin. It's been going down really well. And today she'll be talking about the workings of the mill mainly, which is really interesting to hear. You know, she really goes into detail about that. But before I do, I want to talk about something completely different. I don't know if you heard a few episodes ago now, I can't remember which one it was, where I was talking about different things you could do with your loved one's ashes. Like, you know, putting them in a casket, burying them in a churchyard, scattering them, going up in fireworks, or being mixed with ink and having tattoos so that the ashes are under your skin forever, that sort of thing. Well, there is another way now, and it's with a company called Scattered Blooms. And we have got a bit of a connection with this, really, because Beth's cousin Mark, 'tis his daughter Gabriella, that runs this company. And I will put some of the details on our RJ Bray Facebook page so you can have a look at it. But 'tis fantastic, really, what she does. She just gets a few of the ashes and then she combines them and makes them into little art shapes. And she mixes them with native wildflower seeds and other ingredients that's needed. And then you actually plant these. And then obviously every year you get the flowers come up. And 'tis a lovely little idea. And how she's done it with all the packaging, you can have little personalised notes on it and everything. 'Tis very well done. So I will put a little bit on our Facebook page, but you can look up at them on the website or on Facebook. Just look for Scattered Blooms, and then you'll see, you know, all the different options they do there. So we wish Gabriella all the best with that. Right, so I think I'll now hand over to Win again, and then I will round off again at the end of the podcast. So here we are back with Win Hoskin. And this bit of the interview, Win is actually showing me a book that was done by a lady on Hingham Mill. She came and interviewed Win's father and took lots of photos. So Win is just showing me a few photos of, I don't know if you can still get a copy of the book or no. I must try and find out. But so that's where we start anyway. So here we go.
That's father.
Cool, lovely photos.
Tipping a bag of corn. And that's father.
So who would have come and took these photos then?
Well, I had a photo of this. The first thing my friend looked at me and said, "My God, where was health and safety? There he is tipping in corn. He got a fag in his mouth." Isn't it funny how people notice different things? I hadn't noticed it.
No.
Well, he smoked all the time, father.
Yeah, everybody did.
20 players, an ounce of tobacco every day. Digger plug tobacco. These books are interesting, but she went to Hingham and she interviewed father.
Ah, right, yeah.
So a lot of the names of the picks and the times and the things they did with pigs and cows and in the wood.
Yeah.
That was our lavatory.
Oh, yeah.
That's the mill. There's the hatch that goes up to let the water through to the wheel.
Yeah.
That work comes out there. And that was out the front of the house. It's just in the corner.
Yeah, I know.
And you go in by the side.
Yeah.
But, I mean, a lot of people in those days had bucket lavatories.
Mm.
But we had a proper lavatory, a wooden seat, and the pan was, I would say, enamel.
Oh, right.
I can only remember it as enamel. And we had a bucket of water in the toilet outside the door.
Yeah.
And when you went to the toilet, you threw the water down and filled, because the mill leat was there.
Yeah, of course.
So you filled the bucket ready for the next one, sort of,
Yeah.
And when they talk about Wadebridge, and I say, and we've spent hours tearing up the newspaper into toilet pieces.
Yeah.
And we'd have a skewer and put a hole through the top, put a bit of string, and it was hanging on the wall by the side of the toilet. I mean, you say this to some people, I think they wonder where we came from. I do honestly. Yeah. I think sometimes they think, whatever is she talking about?
But that was it.
It's absolutely true. It's how we lived. Now, the corn goes in the bin at the top, and then it goes through the shaker. The grinding stones are flat, one on top of the other.
Right.
They are this big around.
Quite a size.
They are a size. Yeah. I tried to work out with a stick and that, trying to work. It's difficult. But there's a wood frame all the way around the sides. One of the stones is static on the floor. There's a hole in the middle, the axle. Yeah. Axle. And the other stone is on the top. Now, every year, they did it twice in Grandad's day and sometimes 3 times, because sometimes they worked the mill night and day because they were queued so long after harvest, see, you can imagine. Yeah. But there were mills all the way through the valley. There was one at Limail and yes, and Tregarden, all the way up through the valley to Denham's. I think there was 9 or 10 mills. They go on about shortage of water. That River Allen fed everything. Yeah. Where do they come from? Yeah. Are we still on water ration from doing cars?
Still on those pipe pan, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Mill picking day. Tom Old used to come down from St Mabon and help Father. And they took off the wood frame, had a rope, strong rope, that went down through the axle. And they had to lift the stone with iron bar, the top stone, and put the rope through and tie it up to a beam and hauled the stone up, this great stone with a hole in the middle, tie it up to the beam and rest it back against the wall. Then the lower stone was open then and ready for you to work. Yeah. And they had picks, and then they sat on bale of straw or bags of corn. Yeah. It's difficult when people don't know what you're talking about. Right, yeah. And they picked like that.
All right.
All day. Pick both sides and both ends, if you know what I mean. And we had to sharpen them about every hour at least, I think. Well, the stones were granite, and these were cast iron, I expect, were they?
Yeah, that's right, yeah.
Well, this sort of thing. Yeah. But if you picture that, see? Yeah. And it had to be a strong pick. Father used to go to Blissland.
All right.
And pick the mill for Mr. and Mrs. Keat, Levathan Mill. Yeah. And I don't know why Father went to Blissland to do it, but Father had learnt to do. It's a specialist job and not everybody's favourite job because, as I say, they picked and picked and picked. And they had to pick in the lines. There's your wheel, look. Yeah. And they had to go pick all these lines. They had a staff, crystalline mineral comes off. I knew I'd written it somewhere. Yeah. And they'd got a 4-foot pole, staff, I think they called it. And it was about 4x4 square, and it was dark red. Right. It was hanging in the mill. And they used to put that on the floor and put a powder on it. Would that be brimstone? Oh, I want to say brimstone, but I don't think that's the right name.
No, I don't know.
But it's a powder that is dark red. Yeah. And it was damped all across. And then it was put that powder side down on the open wheel.
Yeah.
In the middle, there's the wheel. And they slowly went all the way around and back to the start.
Yeah.
And then when they took that off, they could see where they had to pick all those lines in. And they went all the way around the wheel. And then, of course, when they'd finished, get the stone back down again.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a hell of a day's work. The corn came down through the hutch when it was ground or crushed, whichever.
Yeah.
Oats were crushed. Ponies had oats to eat mostly. And the barley was ground. And the things that was done for pigs and chicken and whatever. And the crushed maize. Everything had to be weighed. Of course, we had massive scales.
All right.
And the weights were 56 pounds, 28 pounds, 14 pounds, 7 pounds, half underweight, quarter underweight, you know. I think the smallest weight we had was about 2 pounds, and that was for poultry corn.
I see.
And of course, we had poultry corn. Different people bought 6 pence of poultry corn, you know. Yeah. And Grandad and my father used to deliver that with the pony and trap, because that was small enough to go to Amble and Sladesbridge, St Mabon, St Tudor, you know, and deliver corn. Yeah. And most people had a chicken with a coop in the garden or a pig to fatten each year. Yeah. You know, not specifically during the war, but through the year, a lot of people just kept they'd buy a veer when he was big enough to sort of feed up. The Mill Leat was a tributary off the River Allen, and the Leat had to be cleaned every year.
Right.
From Hingham to Limail. Less than a 5-minute walk, really, but it's a length when you're going. And if you didn't clean it, of course, the water didn't run.
No.
So there was nothing to work the wheel. The night hay harvest was finished. Grandad would say, "Right, you boys, next Saturday we shall be cleaning the mill late. So Friday night, put on your old clothes and come down, and we turn out the water, drain the leat, ready for cleaning Saturday morning, 8 o'clock.
Right.
And of course, Father and Uncle Sid, Uncle Cecil, they all had to come and help. It was a big thing. And they would come down, and we'd go up Limail and cut out the river bank about that wide, a stretch, going like that, because that's the way the river was running. And if we cut it in line with the way the river was running, it was quicker than running it like that, and there was only half of it going out, but it let the water out from the Leat to the big river so that the Leat drained. Yeah. And as they cut it out, mud, filled bags with it, and when they drained out, they put the bags across the Leat so nothing could come down and go down, because it had to be dry to work in Saturday. While that was being done and drained, when they got nearly finished, we used to take buckets and go down the mill Leat, which was draining out, and pick up the trout, which was all surviving, of course, because the water was going. We'd have a couple of buckets of trout, which we had to clean and kill, you know, cut their heads off. And Grandma used to fry them for the men's supper. And they had fresh bread and butter. Of course, it was home-baked bread, and Friday was bacon day. So their supper was fried trout, fresh bread and butter, and a cup of cocoa. Did you ever drink cocoa?
Yeah.
We'd never heard of coffee.
No.
There wasn't such a thing. The first coffee I remember is camp coffee.
All right,
A bottle of camp coffee. Yeah. I never saw coffee grounds. I don't know when they first came out.
No.
Anyway, that was their supper. They went home, come back, and they was back 8 o'clock. There was no messing around. Hopefully it was drained out and all was well. And there was a iron bar put under the water wheel so that he wouldn't work in any time at all. They'd start 8 o'clock, and they would cut out with shovels. All the middles of the leat was great banks of mud.
Right, yeah.
And that long, green, curly weed that grows in the water, it was proper plants. It was hard and heavy.
Yeah.
And they'd use big shovels and they would cut it out. And they built it all along the river bank, to build up the bank again, because it would gradually, the cows and that would go up and drink and, it would wear down. And they put all these bags of, mud. Anyway, about 10 o'clock, when the train come up, coffee break, only pudding coffee, they'd have a saffron bun or a yeast bun and a drink. And then hopefully by 12:30, say, they would be halfway of the river. And we had to take hot pasties up that Grandma had baked while they'm doing one thing, she's doing another. We'm taking up the pasties and a drink dinner time up by the water splash where the cows used to drink. And then we had to put a grating down by the leat, by the wheel, when they'm getting ready to open the water up again. This one side of the river, there were nut trees, hazelnut trees, and gorse, thorns, like a bit of a hedge.
I see.
And this all had to be cut back as well as they went through the river, cutting out, Well, it had to be clean or it didn't work. When they were ready to turn the water back in, when they'd got up the end, we used to take them a drink in the afternoon. When they were nearly ready, and we put the grating across, and we had to stand down to watch if anything came and catch in the grating. Otherwise, it would break the wheel if it went in.
Yeah.
And sometimes people had thrown rubbish in, like an old bucket or something rusty. If we saw it coming, we had to take that out. The end of a perfect day's work, really, and that was cleaning the leat, ready for the wheel to work. Crone Estate, from Hingham, you walked over the road, over the bridge and up the hill, up that awful corner,
horrible,
and up to
Stephen,
Trevilder, go straight across at Trevilder, and down to Crone Gate on the right. And for being good girls, Peggy and I were allowed to go with Grandad in the pony and trap and take a bag of corn for the pheasants.
All right.
And we met up with the gardener and the gamekeeper and took it in. There was a little shed like in the front of the building. The building was over there, but here on the green there was this shed that we had to put this corn. And we were allowed to pick a few daffodils in the spring.
Yeah.
And narcissi, they had those lovely old narcissi. And you can't get them. I find them anywhere. They cross up so many of the bulbs, and they're not nearly the same as they used to be. They used to smell magnificent, and we were allowed a few of them to take home to Grandma. So we took home our bunch of flowers for being good girls. And I think Sir John Babington lived in Crone Estate.
Yeah.
But he was Sir John Tremaine Babington. Or Sir John Babington Tremaine, I can't make up my mind which, but there were two girls, Penelope and Damaris, and they were Miss Penelope and Miss Damaris Tremaine. So I think it was probably Sir John Babington that was in Crone House. And he wore +4s. We thought he was so smart. Priceless, isn't it? And then you'd go on down to Ford, where there's about 4 houses. The village of Ford, about 4 houses, and it's tiny. And up the other side to the crossroad.
Just for Pencarrow, is that?
Well, it's the start of Pencarrow, where you go to the left and you come out the bottom of St Maben Hill. And you go on up through to Washaway. But the house that's there on the corner was called Dock and Shop.
All right.
And you come to that one from the road, the main road, as you go to Bodmin.
I know.
Dock and Shop. And I don't know whether they sold anything or whether it was just the name of the shop.
Yeah.
And go on through the wood then on to Washaway, to Washaway School, where Daddy and his brother and six brothers and his sister went to school every day.
Did they really?
They walked in and walked home. Shop names in Wadebridge.
Yeah.
Mr. Creeber the dentist.
Right.
Now, you don't know where he was, do you?
No, I don't know.
Wadebridge Cinema.
Yeah.
Go out the side road. There was a chapel there or a church there.
Yeah.
At the end of the houses. There's 3 or 4 houses.
That's right, yeah.
And in one of those, Mr. Creeber, the dentist, came every Thursday to Wadebridge. And he came from, I think, Saltash. Midland Bank was on level crossing just about, wasn't it?
Right, yeah.
Manchester Clothing Stores.
All right.
And that was next up by the International Stores.
Oh, yes.
Wadebridge Street. Well, that was by Manchester. Oswald Worden was other side of the road. Right. He had a little grocery shop. Frank Alward, the tobacconist, he had a shop there. Tremaine and Collicutt's, Longfields. Yeah. They were Jews, I think. They had a clothing shop just up beyond Jago's, the chemist.
Oh, right.
Do you remember, Jago's was the top one?
Yeah.
Tommy Atkins, the barber, men's barber. Lockett's the butcher. Baisley's the butcher. Cool. Paul's shoe shop. That was next to the butcher's shop there, opposite where William's chemist was.
Oh, right.
Just there. Chapman's the drapers. That was a lovely shop. Paul's leather shop. Right. They did bridles and things.
Oh.
And they had a shoe shop. Paul's had a shoe shop there. Jago's chemist was there. Sweb, that was along there by North Cornwall boot shop. That was the end of that row of shops as you go up. But there's an opening then that goes up the back.
Yeah, that's right.
Ralph Parsons was up there. He was a cobbler.
That's right. I remember Ralph.
Boot repairs. Jago's, Sweb, North Cornwall. Mrs. G. Right. She was the first shop as you turned to go up that road. She sold hats. Oh, darling, you look so wonderful from the front and the back. I simply can't imagine. That was her selling line. Yeah, Mrs. G. Powell's, wireless and radio shop. Records they sold. Westington was a men's barber. Yeah. And Cape's the hairdresser, ladies' hairdresser. Yes. Down on the Platte, there was a Barbara Stone. What was her brother called? Mr. Bate.
Right.
Just about where the Vine was. There by Hill and Bunny, is it there on the plot? Yeah. Just about there. She was a ladies' hairdresser and he was her brother. Cape's hairdresser. Mr. Simmons, the grocer. That's the first one before the police station.
All right.
The end of the shops up there was Mr. Simmons, and he lived up Gonvina Hill, but he had a little shop there. And opposite those shops was Tonkin's.
Right.
There was a church or chapel there.
Yeah. Yeah, Methodist or United Reformed Chapel, I think, was that? Right at the top, opposite the police station. Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
They used to collect rabbits and stuff. When you'd shot rabbits and stuff, they used to take it all in there.
I see.
Tonkin's, that was called, police station. Commercial Hotel and the Cornish.
Yeah.
I mean, it's all changed now, isn't it?
Yeah.
Hill and Bunny Bar, Mr. Bate, hairdresser. Burridge's, the jewellers.
Oh, yeah.
And the Miss Goodfellows. And Glanville's.
Yeah.
And the Miss Burdens had a shop right opposite Mitchell's had the bakery.
Yeah.
The opposite side of the road.
But that's all changed. There's hardly any of those names.
I was going to say, well, that's just a few that I sort of thought about and picked up. And I thought, well, you know, I did read a book one day, something about Wadebridge. And a lot of the names there I didn't know.
Right.
Somebody wrote in, there's a shop in Wadebridge that does Old Wadebridge, isn't there? Up the back of where Ralph Parsons' shoe shop was.
Yeah, there's a museum up there now with all There is a museum up there.
Yeah, I've never got up there. I'd like to go up and have a look, but all that I've written are just vague memories of my life at Hingham Mill.
Yeah.
And since my father died, I doubt the mill has been cleaned.
Well, thank you very much, Win. That was absolutely brilliant. And I don't know if you'd like to just say goodbye to everybody.
Well, yes, I hope you found something worth listening to. When I start, I can't stop. When you ask me a question, I forget. I have to sit and ponder to think of names and things. Yeah. Memory is an awful thing at the moment. I can't remember from one minute to the next. So I hope you enjoyed it and it's helpful to you. It's useful.
Proper job. Lovely.
Proper job. I like it. You Cornish boy.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Well, thank you very much, Win. And I hope you all enjoyed the last 3 weeks with Win talking about memories of everything. And I thought for me Cornish dialect this week, I'd use the word back along, which is just looking back years ago. And that's just all we've been doing lately the past few weeks. And I love it. It's just capturing history kind of thing. So I think that'll be my dialect word for this week, back along. And my Cornish word of the week, I think we'll go back to Gabriella's scattering blooms that I mentioned about earlier in the podcast. And she was, sowing these wildflower seeds and that. So I thought I'd do the Cornish word for flower, which is blogen. Blogen. Right. Well, I think I'll leave you there. I'm now going to go and pack up me Speedos and get ready for going on holiday. So I hope you have a good few days until I'm back again. And then we'll go back. Our next interview we got the week after next, if you can follow me, is Terry Hewitt, another old Bridger. So I think we'll have 2 episodes here with Terry. So that's another episode and another character to look forward to. But I'll leave you for now and say speak to you soon. So wish you well. Do Guinness. Cernobus Vicken.